a city drowning in corruption, one man dresses as a bat to strike fear into criminals who no longer fear the law. For a year, this vigilante has hunted the mob from the shadows, and the criminal underworld is finally starting to panic. A group of masked robbers storms a mob-owned bank in broad daylight, each one secretly planning to betray the others. One by one, the robbers turn on each other, until only one remains standing, the mastermind behind the entire scheme. This is a criminal unlike any the city has seen, a chaotic mastermind who wants nothing but to watch order collapse. Meanwhile, the city's new district attorney is being hailed as its brightest hope, a man determined to clean up the streets legally. He works closely with an honest police lieutenant, one of the few officers in the department the vigilante still trusts. The vigilante, the officer, and the district attorney form an uneasy alliance, each fighting corruption in their own way. By day, the man behind the mask is a billionaire industrialist, famous for extravagant parties and a carefree public image. Few know that behind his charm lies a disciplined crusade, a personal war against the crime that once destroyed his family. His loyal butler and a brilliant engineer supply him with new gear, worried that this war is consuming the man they raised. The mob bosses, desperate and losing money, gather in secret to decide what to do about their bat-costumed problem. A visiting accountant proposes moving their money somewhere safer, unaware that the vigilante is already tracking every transaction. The grinning criminal mastermind crashes their meeting uninvited, offering a chilling proposal. He will kill the vigilante for a price. The bosses laugh him off, unaware they are about to unleash a force far more destructive than the vigilante they fear. The vigilante intercepts the accountant abroad, determined to expose the mob's hidden fortune before it disappears for good. Back home, the district attorney publicly claims responsibility for the vigilante's actions, hoping to draw the mob's fury onto himself. It's a bold, dangerous move, one that puts a target on his back and on the woman he loves. That woman once loved the billionaire vigilante, and now finds herself torn between two very different men trying to save the same city. The grinning criminal begins his campaign of chaos, threatening to kill someone every day until the vigilante reveals his true identity. A judge and a police commissioner are targeted first, proof that no one in the city is truly safe anymore. The vigilante realizes this enemy doesn't want money or power. He simply wants to prove that everyone can be broken. At a fundraiser, the grinning criminal crashes the party in search of the district attorney, terrorizing the guests for sport. The vigilante intervenes just in time, hurling the woman he loves out a window to save her from a deadly fall. The criminal escapes into the night, leaving the city shaken and the vigilante more determined than ever to stop him. The police commissioner is presumed dead after a staged attack, but he's secretly working with the vigilante to set a trap. The district attorney and the lieutenant clash over how far the law should bend to catch a man who follows no rules. The vigilante interrogates a captured henchman, growing more violent as the city's death toll continues to rise. The grinning criminal allows himself to be captured, revealing this was his plan all along, to get inside police headquarters. With the district attorney secretly relocated for protection, the criminal reveals he's planted bombs inside two ordinary hospitals. In custody, the criminal taunts the vigilante with a twisted choice: save the district attorney or save the woman he loves. The vigilante races across the city, but the addresses have been switched, a cruel trick with devastating consequences. The lieutenant arrives too late to save the woman, while the district attorney survives, but is horribly scarred by the blast. The loss shatters the district attorney, and grief begins to twist his sense of justice into something far darker. Meanwhile, the grinning criminal escapes custody in a plan so elaborate, it seems he wanted to be caught all along. The vigilante's technology allows him to track every phone in the city at once, a power even he questions using. His engineer ally warns him this kind of power is too dangerous for one person to hold, no matter how good his intentions. Using the system just once, the the vigilante finally locates the grinning criminal's hideout inside an abandoned high-rise. Inside, the criminal has taken hostages disguised as his own henchmen, turning the rescue into a deadly guessing game. A tactical police unit storms the building, unable to tell captor from captive in the chaos and gunfire. The vigilante fights through the confusion alone, determined to save innocent lives without letting a single hostage fall. On a rooftop above, the criminal watches the chaos unfold below with quiet, gleeful satisfaction at his own creation. The vigilante finally corners him, but the criminal has one more trick: 2 ferries rigged with explosives and a deadly choice. One ferry carries ordinary citizens, the other carries convicted criminals, and each boat holds the detonator for the other. The criminal's rule is simple: whoever presses the button first survives, and whoever hesitates loses everything. VO. Panic spreads on both boats as passengers debate whether to sacrifice the other ship to save themselves. On the criminal ferry, a hardened inmate makes an unexpected choice, refusing to let fear turn them into killers. Neither boat presses the button, proving that even in the darkest moment, this city hasn't lost its soul. Furious at his failed experiment, the criminal turns his attention to a final target: the vigilante himself. A brutal fight breaks out high above the city, ending only when the vigilante uses sonic gear to track the criminal's location. The vigilante wins the fight but refuses to kill him, insisting that some lines should never be crossed, however tempting. The criminal laughs, admitting that his true victory was never the fight. It was the corruption of an honest man. Grief-stricken and disfigured, the former district attorney has become a symbol of chaos himself, blaming the system for his loss. He begins hunting down everyone he believes failed the woman he loved, flipping a coin to decide who lives and who dies. One by one, corrupt officers and mobsters fall victim to his twisted sense of justice, chance deciding every fate. The lieutenant realizes too late that his own family is now in danger from the man he once trusted completely. The scarred man kidnaps the lieutenant's wife and son, planning one final act of vengeance before the night ends. The vigilante arrives to stop him, pleading that revenge will only make him the villain the city fears most. In the struggle, the vigilante takes drastic action to save the child, ending the scarred man's rampage for good. The lieutenant arrives just in time to witness the tragic outcome and a painful truth about the fallen hero. The vigilante realizes that if the truth comes out, the district attorney's legacy and the city's hope will be destroyed. He makes a painful decision: to take the blame for the deaths himself, letting the city's fallen hero remain a symbol of hope. The lieutenant reluctantly agrees to the lie, understanding that sometimes people need a hero more than they need the truth. As sirens wail through the night, the vigilante flees into the darkness, now hunted by the very city he swore to protect. Dogs are unleashed to chase him through the streets, a hero suddenly recast as the city's most wanted man. In a final quiet moment, the lieutenant destroys the emblem the vigilante left behind, publicly denouncing the man he secretly admires. The engineer, watching from a distance, quietly deletes the powerful surveillance system, trusting no one should wield that much control. The butler burns a heartfelt letter meant for the woman who died, choosing to protect the man he's cared for since childhood. The city believes its symbol of hope died a hero, never knowing the truth about his final, tragic transformation. And the man behind his mask disappears into the shadows once more, accepting the role of villain so the city can keep believing in good. This is the story of how far a person can fall when they try to fight fire with fire and lose themselves in the process. It's also the story of ordinary people, passengers on 2 ferries, who proved that fear doesn't always win. And it's the story of a lieutenant forced to carry a lie for the sake of a city that needed a hero more than the truth. At its heart, this is a story about the thin, fragile line between order and chaos, and who decides which side wins. The grinning criminal believed that anyone could be broken given the right push, and for one tragic man, he was proven right. But the ferry passengers and the vigilante himself proved that not everyone breaks. Some people choose to hold the line. The billionaire behind the mask sacrifices his reputation, understanding that true heroism sometimes means accepting blame you don't deserve. He becomes what the city needs him to be, not the hero it wants, but the guardian it actually requires. The lieutenant hunts him publicly, while privately hoping he'll return one day when the city needs him again. A signal once used to summon a hero is now broken, left behind as a quiet promise of return. The story closes not with celebration, but with quiet sacrifice. A hero vanishing into the night to protect a lie that keeps hope alive. It's a story that asks a hard question. Is it better to tell the truth and lose hope, or protect a lie and keep it alive? The film never gives an easy answer, leaving audiences to decide for themselves what justice really means. What makes this story endure isn't the explosions or the chases, it's the moral weight behind every single choice. The criminal mastermind isn't remembered for what he stole, but for the uncomfortable truths he forced other people to face. The fallen district attorney reminds us how quickly hope can curdle into vengeance when tragedy strikes without warning. And the vigilante shows us that real heroism sometimes means enduring blame silently, for the good of people who will never know the truth. This film reshaped what audiences expected from hero stories, proving they could be as morally complex as any great drama. Its villain remains one of the most unsettling ever put on screen, precisely because his chaos always felt disturbingly possible. Its hero remains compelling because he never claims to be perfect, only determined to keep trying, no matter the cost. And its city remains a mirror for our own world, where the line between hero and villain is rarely as clear as we'd like. In the end, three men fight for the soul of one city, and each pays a devastating price for that fight. One becomes a monster, one becomes a martyr, and one disappears into the darkness he chose to embrace. The city moves on, unaware of the sacrifices made in its name, its false hero honored in marble and memory. Somewhere above the rooftops, a lone figure watches over the city he can no longer walk through as a hero. He accepts a fate few would choose, feared by the people he protects, hunted by the officers he once trusted. But every night, he continues his watch, because the city's true hope was never a mask. It was the will to keep fighting. The story leaves us with an image that has become iconic. A lone guardian standing watch, unseen, unthanked, but unwavering. It's a haunting reminder that sometimes doing the right thing means being remembered as the wrong kind of hero. This story doesn't end with fireworks or celebration. It ends with quiet resolve and the promise of a fight far from finished. Its final message lingers long after the credits roll. Sometimes the truest heroes are the ones willing to disappear. And that idea, sacrifice without recognition, is what elevated this story from a simple hero tale into something unforgettable. Every character in this story is forced to answer the same question. What would you sacrifice to protect the people you love? Some chose truth, some chose vengeance, and one chose silence. Each answer reshaping the city's future in a different way. It's this complexity that made the film resonate far beyond typical hero stories, sparking debates that continue to this day. Critics praised its villain as one of cinema's greatest, a character whose chaos exposed uncomfortable truths about human nature. Audiences left theaters not cheering, but reflecting, a rare feat for a film built around a costumed vigilante. Its legacy lives on in every hero story that dares to ask hard questions instead of offering easy answers. The vigilante's journey reminds us that true strength isn't about winning every fight. It's about knowing which fights are worth having. The scarred district attorney's fall reminds us how easily grief can turn even the best of us into someone unrecognizable. And the criminal mastermind's chaos reminds us that some threats can't be defeated with force alone, only outlasted with conviction. In the end, this isn't just a story about a city under siege. It's a story about the choices that define who we really are. And somewhere out there, in the quiet space between fear and hope, a guardian still watches over the dark.